What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. And you see, a lot of us have ego. A lot of us have pride that gets in the way from preventing us from becoming the best version of ourselves, right? We all have something that's in the way, right? We all have ego in us. We all have pride in us. But there's ways that you can get rid of that you can actually humble yourself as a man. I think it's so important to humble yourself, right? Humble yourself so that you can grow into that version of yourself. Because if you're blocked with pride, you're blocked with ego, you're always going to think you're better than everyone else. You're always going to think that you know everything and that there's no room to grow, right? That's pretty much what you're saying when your ego gets in the way, when your pride gets in the way, right? And like I said before, a lot of people have this ego or this pride that gets in their way from preventing them from becoming the best version of themselves. And I know me, for example, when I was in my bodybuilding prep, I had to put all my ego aside, all my pride aside, and just put all my trust into my coach, put all my trust into myself that I'm going to show up every single day and do the things need to do from my coach so that I can get shredded in order to be ready to be on a bodybuilding stage in a few, 10, 20 weeks, whatever. And with that, I became the best version of myself because I was this like big meathead, you could say, right? For example, I was like 180, 185 pounds, not that much to be honest, but people thought I was lean, right? People literally said I was lean at that time, which I was, but like not as lean as you really thought. And it really changed my perspective on, just like getting better as a whole. Because once you realize that you can become better, once you realize and you see what's on the other side, when you finally just like put your ego aside, when you finally put your pride aside and you see what you can become, you will realize that you will have to be humble like your whole entire life if you want to grow, if you want to get to the next version of yourself. Because that comes with, being better, is being humble, right? People get coached, people have mentors, people have people that are experts that know the whole playbook telling them what to do. And why would you not want to have that person by your side, right? I know one of my friends coached me for my bodybuilding show, and he's been prepped twice, right? He stepped on stage twice and he's being coached, and he learned so much. And obviously I learned a lot from him from being coached. And it's like a domino effect, right? You need to put your pride aside, you need to put your ego aside if you want to become the best version of yourself. Because like I said, being in a bodybuilding prep, not knowing what it's like to be shredded at all, right? I was so comfortable being lean. I wasn't even that lean, to be honest with you. People thought I was not that damn lean. But then I got to this shredded state and my whole perspective changed, my whole physique changed, my whole mentality changed, because I saw like what I became so much more confident in myself. I was just able to do what I'm doing now, like speaking to a camera or just like saying whatever I want because I don't care anymore, right? Like that's what comes on the other side. Like there's just so many hidden things that come with allowing yourself to grow, allowing yourself to be humble, and not thinking the whole playbook. Because I promise you, if you don't know the whole playbook, bro, someone else does, right? Why do you think CBum has a coach? Why do you think Tom Brady had a QB coach? Why do you think all these athletes in the world, UFC fighters, have coaches? Because those people know the playbook. Those people know what it's like to, get hit, get punched in the face hundreds of thousands of times compared to a fighter that's new, right? You need to be coached. You need to know what it's like to be coached, because I promise you, you will be humbled. It will make you humble, because you realize that you don't know everything. You don't know everything, truly, you don't. Right? You think you do, right? Some of you guys are so stubborn, so arrogant, that you think you don't need anyone telling you what to do. You think you don't need a coach. You think you don't need, someone else holding you accountable. But in reality, I promise you, every single person does. Every single person does not know the whole playbook. And that's why you need people to coach you. You need people to help you to get to that best version of yourself. And I'm going to repeat myself again, right? I'm going to go through my story of going into bodybuilding prep, because it's important in this aspect, right? It was about like last year, right, in the spring, I was like 180, 185 pounds, and I told one of my friends that was going to coach me that I want to be I want to be coached by him, right? So with that came, I had to put all my pride aside, all my ego aside to be coached for my first bodybuilding show. And it was not, I'm not gonna say scary, but it was different for sure, because, as someone that thinks I know everything in the fitness space, thinks I know what it's like to, get jacked, but I didn't know what it's like to get shredded. I never cut in my life. So being able to cut, revealed so many things, right? Obviously, I got very shredded. I just put all my trust into my coach, into myself, that will do all the things necessary to become, stage lean, stage ready. And I did, right? I came in probably sub 7-8% body fat, insane physique, like most confident I ever felt in my life. And it just translated into where I am now, right? Knowing what it's like on the other side, not being some chud or not being some meathead in the gym. People thinking I was lean. No, I was not lean, let me tell you. And now I just, like, you see both sides now. When you cut, when you bulk for the first time, you see both sides of the story, and you know how to help those people. You know how to, like, I'm telling you, man, you have to just humble yourself. You have to not allow your pride and ego to get in the way, because it will prevent you from becoming the greatest version of yourself, right? When you go humble yourself and learn and grow, you will never regret it, man. Being coached, you will never regret it, right? And well, I'm not saying you have to be coached or, mentored all the time, but you should at least learn, at least know that you have room to grow, that you have room to learn new things, to become better, to become smarter, to become stronger, to become, more like business orientated or more biblical literate, for example. Like, there's so many things that you can learn about, so many things that you can just reach the best version of yourself if you just actually put your pride aside, you put your ego aside, and you can just allow someone else to take that role in your life to help you and navigate through the things that you struggle with, to navigate through the things that you don't know. Because I promise you, you don't know the whole playbook, right? And not everyone does, but there's people out there that know way more than you. So why would you not want to be coached? Why would you not want to be mentored? Or why would you not want to be, led to the best version of yourself, right? People help people, and that's just the reality of it. People help people, bro. And, like, especially people that, actually make impacts on lives, they help others, and it's a domino effect, right? It's all a domino effect. It's all like a pyramid scheme, if you want to look at it that way. But, like, if, like, we all want to be better, you need to learn more. You need to do all these things to get better, right? You're not going to just get better by staying complacent, by staying comfortable. You get better by trying. You get better by, humbling yourself and actually allowing yourself to grow, allowing yourself to do something that you've never done before, or to learn something that you never learned before, or to experience something you never experienced before, right? That's what growth is doing things that you've never done. And you're going to suck at it at first, but you're going to get better. You're going to, become an expert one day. You're going to become the best at it one day if you allow yourself to that limit, right? That is why it's so important to never stop learning, to never stop trying, to never stop experiencing things in life that's going to make you the best version of yourself, right? That's what life is, man. It's all about experiences. It's all about learning from other people. Because if we didn't learn from other people, we would be complacent. We'd be comfortable. We wouldn't grow into what God is intending us to be. That is why it's so important to just humble yourself, put your pride aside, and allow someone else to lead you to that place, bro. Like, that's all I gotta say for this little short video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.